Okay, so you guys know how being petty is like my spiritual gift, right?
Welcome to a new segment I'm calling That's Not Biblical.
Thank you for your contribution, man. Now,
This looks like we're a sitcom with our faces like this.
I did the wrong
Oh,
one.
no, I want to go back because I feel like we should all like kind of pop out and be like,
We should pop in. By the way, we need to change that to say
I'm
Monday.
April. I'm Rachel. Okay, no, just kidding. It felt very Brady Bunch. I don't know. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Rachel.
You can blame it on me, Rachel. Rachel normally does the opening, and she told me to do it tonight, and I was not good.
No, you
I
did
liked
great.
it. I realize that it
Listen.
sounds like I'm not being genuine, but I am. I love this.
This is so weird and
I
so
don't-
close.
Just for
And
like
of all
an
days,
intro?
the day I didn't wear any makeup on the
Wait.
show today.
April,
need to-
you and me lean back, and Rachel, you lean forward, and be like, "I'm Rachel."
No.
Do it. Oh no, do it. That would be so fun.
Y'all.
Beecher, talking about Hocus
Happy
Pocus.
Monday. Can we just be Hocus Pocus again next month?
I'm for it. I kept my costume.
It's relevant. I saw mine
I
as well.
definitely returned.
You have to buy it again. You should have kept it.
Well, Amazon, right? Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm
Hello.
sorry.
Are we supposed to respond?
Yeah,
Hello.
are you talking to us? Wait, can I
This
just
is-
jumping backwards ever so slightly? I rescind my vote about being Hocus Pocus for Halloween. I don't think so. I think
Why?
I think we should come up with a better. I have a costume idea.
I think we should come as our favorite beverages. I can be bourbon, you can be tequila, and April can be a LaCroix.
LaCroix.
Girls.
The Golden
No,
Girls.
we need a fourth.
We could get Derek to guest star as Rose,
Yes.
or as what's the grandmother? Cynthia.
Sophia. Sophia Petrillo.
I love this show. I don't know why I couldn't get her name right.
Sylvia. Also, speaking of tequila, I am drinking tequila tonight in honor of you.
Nope. Okay. Well, that is doesn't feel true, but
I'm drinking
I'm
it because I
drinking.
wanted it.
I know. Don't try to pass it off as honor. I'm drinking a White Claw.
Oh gosh, that's potent. April, what LaCroix do you have today?
Well, I have a key lime LaCroix,
ooh, that's
but since you told me to
and
have
limoncello.
alcohol, I've also got my little bubbly
is that?
rosé in a can.
Those
Very
cans looked
nice.
identical. Could you please hold them up again?
Okay, one is clearly green.
Oh, okay, fair.
so identical.
They were both
And
Slutty
one's
cans.
pink.
pastors. Marsha thinks we should be
Jenny.
slutty pastors.
Did you see what
Slutty
Jenny said? Speaking of
pastors.
sitcoms, am I the only one that knew that Joe from Facts of Life is a trans man? I just saw him on TikTok.
No,
I did not know that. And that's one of my favorite older sitcoms.
I didn't know that either. That's pretty
You want to hear a cringe story about that though? Is that when I was at Liberty and had to get all my like volunteer hours with the women in the School of Religion, we had to work like all the women of faith conferences and stuff, that came through. And Blair, Lisa Welchel or whatever, she's Susie Christian, and she was speaking, and I had to work backstage for her, and she was such a bitch.
Oh, I believe it.
She was horrible.
Do you know that on the show Facts of Life, I don't know how we got into this, but I am here for it. Did you know that on the show, the storyline where Natalie gets pregnant, it was actually supposed to be Blair, because Blair was like, the innuendo was that she was the one that went with all the boys and that like she was this hopping social girl. And because of her like very conservative faith, she
Mhm.
refused to do it. And the girl that plays Natalie was like, fuck that, I'll do it.
I love
And it
Natalie.
was groundbreaking in part because here they had this like, she was like the fat funny friend, and she not only went through this episode of having an abortion, she also kind of stirred that pot of like the fat funny friend was the one having sex and everybody thought it was the hot blonde.
Mhm.
I don't know why I know this.
I don't know, but I love it. I'm here for it.
I don't remember the plot at all, but I believe you, and that's very interesting.
With Mrs. What was Charlotte Ray was her real name? What'd she play? Mrs. Nobody? Bueller?
I don't
Okay.
remember anything.
It'll come to me, or somebody will
don't
answer
ask
it for
me.
me over here. Facts Life was a great show. Listen, we have this comment over here I want to read out loud. Hello, darlings. Brand new here to Following the Heretics. Also a brand new member of the deconstruction community. I just escaped from a Pentecostal cult 3 weeks ago after 11 years of damage. Nicole, we are so happy that you are here.
So happy you're here.
Welcome.
We all have different avenues where we, share so much of like the heaviness of deconstruction. And one thing I think is so important is balancing that out with like a lightness and community and fun. And so I hope you're excited to have a little fun tonight because you probably have had a rough couple weeks. So I hope tonight is just
a
little alleviation of that.
And Abby and I grew up Pentecostal.
Yeah, we did. And
Rachel
if you're
was a
looking for like
Baptist.
more of what we each do and like talk about when it comes to deconstruction, we all exist on every social media platform under any of these names and would love to let you go through and see if there's any helpful content for you there. We tonight we are silly on this podcast most of the time, and sometimes we get emotional, but for the most part, sometimes we cry. It's all very intermixed. But I just don't want you to think we're so glad that you're here and that you found your way to this space. But I also feel cognizant of wanting to be like, we're not getting too deep tonight.
I want you to be like, wow, they really are pretty fucking shallow.
I will say though, last Halloween episode, we're all dressed like the Sanderson sisters, and it got deep at one point, and we were having a very serious conversation, and all of us looked ridiculous.
I don't remember
it though.
Yeah.
See, okay, can I just explain my TikTok from today? Because here's the thing. We hear in the comments all the time.
After you apologize for it.
No, never. We hear in the comments.
The podcast people need to know what you did.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the way that we talk about what happens on this podcast, it very much depends on the fact that you follow all of us or like know us on the social webs because we reference things. I was kind of talking about that. Okay. I made a TikTok and I used the filter where you're crying and it was
scary looking.
It was so ugly.
It was terrifying.
Trying to find the one where it looks like the person has like big fatty tears and I couldn't find that one. The only one I could find, it was just like 2 ribbons of CGI right here that was just squiggling your skin, and that was genuinely scary.
It looked like something out of a horror movie.
People are always like, I had to listen to it, and we always talk in the podcast like, oh, we'll have to explain it because they can't see our faces or they miss things. Okay, you know what?
And what audio did you use?
I don't know, some TikTok audio.
Listen, y'all, I feel like if people don't use Snapchat, then they don't understand this. So let me explain it to all of those of you that don't. It's sacred. And you're not supposed to be able to screen record or screenshot or anything like that.
No, you can as long as you have the balls to do it because it's just going to
because it tells you. Abby breaks that rule all the time.
Twice, 2 documentable times that it was on purpose.
We'll decide on that later. But anyway, so she screen records me freaking out about something.
I hate to break it to you, but you just froze and cut out, and so no one has any idea what you're saying.
I heard what she said.
Shh. Yeah, take that, rewind it back. Anyway, I was freaking out about something that she did to me, and then she used the audio of me freaking out. When I first turned it on today, it took me like 3 seconds to realize it was my voice, and I was like, oh shit, that's me.
I didn't recognize
Okay, sorry, Caitlin. We see that you were right that it's Miss Garrett.
To be fair, you knew that I had that audio and that I was going to use it because I literally said, "Hey, I just screen recorded this noise you just made."
Because it can only know it was you, Rachel. So I think most people wouldn't know. But now they do.
Now they do.
Yeah. Now they know it was me. Oh well, I've said worse things on Snapchat. Anyway,
it's very true. And I have all of those screen recorded too. I really don't.
Oh my
goodness.
New
My phone case though has very trigger happy side buttons. And so I'm constantly accidentally screenshotting things. And it's gotten to the point now where when you know how you go to look at your photos because you're looking for something, it's just screenshots that I did not know I was taking. And it's
Yeah.
always of the most, either my phone is totally on lock screen or it's in your guys' Snapchats. And so it tells you I've taken a screenshot.
Yes, it
And I look like
does.
an asshole.
Yep. Like, why
Mhm.
did you screenshot
I
my
know.
chat,
Abby
Abby?
said that one day. She was like, "Why did you screen that voice memo?"
What are you gonna do with a screenshot of an audio recording that you can't play?
Be creative.
Got receipts.
Well,
I got receipts. You don't know what they are, but I've got them.
oh man. Okay, so we talked about the facts of life and Snapchat. What's next?
Yes.
How are you, April? Tell us about what you've been up to since we saw you last.
Oh, you know, just living that life, that
Okay.
TikTok, Twitter, internet life.
Yeah.
I had a video that I made about Tennessee license plates that got over 5 million views on TikTok.
That's insane. I saw that.
Ooh.
That's
I
insane.
did
Yeah.
not see that.
Over Tennessee license plates.
Well, because it's so problematic.
It's
It's
always the
so
dumbest
if you
shit.
don't know, Tennessee is they're making everyone get new license plates this year, and when you go to register either online or if you go in person to get them, you get two options for the standard choice. You can choose one that is just blank, or you get one that says "In God We Trust." And the "In God We Trust" is pretty small, so didn't think much of it, but they have flipped the letters and the numbers. If you get "In God We Trust," numbers come first, 3 numbers followed by 4 letters. If you don't get it, 3 letters come first, followed by 4 numbers. So it's easy to spot from a distance whether or not you trust in God or not.
And
So
So
not
why
okay.
do people need to know from a distance? What's the implication? That cops are going to be like, "Heretic, pull them
yeah,
Right.
over."
I mean, if there's a
Good
nationalist,
Lord.
you could profile based on religious ideologies. But yeah, anyway, just creepy, just weird.
That's wild.
Did anybody else just want to randomly start singing from a distance when you said that? Or
From
no,
a
that was just me.
distance.
No.
I
No,
love
but
that
now
song.
it's in my head.
Okay. Anyway,
Well,
Abby, what
that's
have you been up to?
No, I was
Fine,
about
ask
you.
whatever. I'm just gonna sit here.
Well, April, that's incredible. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
Rachel, what have you been
I
up
hate
to
it
since
here.
last we saw you?
Oh, mainly working. This is, my busy time. So I've been working a ton. So that it might be part of why I'm on here with no makeup on and dirty hair because my life's been insane. Mainly just working.
I don't know. You take pictures. Is it really like a job?
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like a real job. I honestly can't tell you how many people through these last 15 years have been like, okay, well, what else do you do? I'm like, that's literally all I do. Wow. And that's a full-time job. Yep. Promise.
It's truly
Yep.
such a weird thing to say, but I think about how long it takes me to edit a TikTok video. And then I think about how your job is editing hundreds of videos for multiple clients
Photos.
multiple clients every week. And
Mhm.
it sounds so exhausting without even the shooting the events part of it.
Mhm.
So
True.
Or then like the million meetings you have and the this and the whatever. So like today I got up at 5 and I
Oof.
edited from 6 to 6:30 tonight. And at 6:30 I had a meeting over Zoom for a wedding in like 4 weeks. And it was done. I was going to go back to editing and I was like, "No, I need to like do a few things before the Heretics." And that's just that's just one day in September and October. So, yeah, my life is insane. So,
Wow.
it's fine. I love it, but I'm tired.
when does the busy season for weddings, what's the end of it?
It's different every year. For me this year, it's actually ending early.
Yeah.
My life gets pretty normal in November again. Normally I work all the way through New Year's Eve, but I have a really easy winter this winter. So
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
Well, as an October bride,
Hmm.
thanks.
Was
It's
it
the
a
best.
Halloween ride?
God, I wanted to do that so badly. I really got screwed out of what I wanted for my wedding. It was very beautiful and very traditional. And that's just, I don't know if you know this or not, but not really my style.
Weird. Had no idea.
So I like wanted my wedding to be on October 31st at midnight outside, lit entirely by candles. And there was this like pewter colored dress that I wanted to wear. None of that happened.
Yeah.
This is a good idea, though.
Oh God.
October what?
October 25th.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So the third week of June, the third Saturday of June, and the third Saturday of October every year are the biggest wedding days of the year. Don't ask me why. They just are.
Ooh, I think
people
we
love those months.
The third weekend of June, June 22nd. You know what
Probably,
our
yeah.
slogan was? On
Oh, gosh.
622, we say I do.
On what?
Our like wedding invitation slogan. On 622, we say I do.
Oh,
June 22nd. Yeah. I came up with
That's
it.
really, really cute. Good job.
Pretty proud.
Nailed it.
Sorry, didn't mean to
Show is
interrupt
going.
you. What are we supposed to talk
Abby,
about tonight?
what have you been up to? We're gonna get there, but Abby needs to tell us what she's been up to.
I have been up to nothing, guys.
Of people that are watching live.
I have been up to nothing. This past week was not my favorite week on the calendar.
Right?
Did you just make a face about your tequila?
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
I'm deeply offended.
I mean, it's delicious, but it's strong. So
my kids started school. There's some things that I'm trying to get off the ground, but I also just have zero motivation for most things, most days, most of the time.
I understand.
I keep going, well, it's grief. And it is. I'm not downplaying it.
Nicole said
it is.
that if she ever gets married, she wants a Lord of the Rings themed wedding or Doctor Who. I would die for a Lord of the Rings wedding if I could redo it all over again. Just come down like an elf.
I have shot a wedding where all the centerpieces were Doctor Who inspired. But never Lord of the Rings. I've never seen any Lord of the Rings.
Are you serious, ridiculous. Rachel?
Wait, I have to say that I had the Doctor Who theme song was what's the word for the part where you walk out after you've done the marrying?
Not the processional. That's on the way down, right?
Recessional.
The recessional?
That sounds so weird.
Roll it back.
Roll it back.
Rivers.
So we walked out of the ceremony to the Doctor Who theme song, the exit song. That's what we called it. Recessional sounded super not correct, you guys.
Yeah, we just.
It is the recessional.
And I also have a Doctor Who tattoo. Okay.
I also don't know anything about Doctor Who.
Yeah, but remember that time that you said you've never seen the Lord of the Rings? Everybody get her.
Yeah, how have you not seen Lord of the Rings?
Or any Star Wars? Nothing.
Hold on.
Okay,
is this an
I was using that as a cover because I've never seen Lord of the Rings either. But now I'm actually
Abby,
you bitch.
You've never seen Star Wars?
No, none of them.
No. We're rolling that back. I am doing a podcast with two of my best friends, and neither of you have seen Lord of the Rings, which are my favorite movies of all time.
No,
they're your favorite.
My all-time favorite. I saw the first one in theater 7 times. I saw the other 2 4 times
them, though. I know a thing from them.
You know a thing?
Yeah.
What's the thing you know?
Something about taters, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
That's
Isn't
good.
That a thing?
Is that from the YouTube video? The song?
Yes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Yes, that is from. Okay. Will y'all watch them? Do you guys just not want to?
No.
I will never. I love
Why?
you so much.
Thank you.
I would give you the moon, but I just can't bring myself.
Why?
Because if I wanted to spend 12 hours looking at grass, I would.
It is not freaking grass. It is Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. It's a masterpiece.
That man wrote books with
cumulatively
cumulatively 143 pages describing grass.
He's a beautiful writer.
I made that up, but it is a very.
I was like, "What the hell?"
I was like, I don't think that's right, but I would read Tolkien writing about grass.
I'm just not interested, and I'm not like a hater, right? Like I don't make fun of people for liking it. Like go like it, go watch it, go do all the whatever. I just have zero interest in it. Listen, Abby or
But
April,
you
we
don't know
make
what you don't know.
I'm not into it.
yeah, you don't know what you don't know. Do you watch all the Real Housewives?
Have you
Hold on,
ever
hold on,
watched
hold on.
that?
So Rachel, when you retweeted Kevin Mack saying that he was going to write me an orc ballad, did you know what that meant?
Know what she was saying.
You didn't know what that meant.
Oh,
What is an orc? Do you know what an orc is?
I know enough that I don't know what that is. I know it's a. I don't have to know what it is to know what it.
story.
Yes, I'm like it has something to do with something I don't understand.
Yeah, like
because
I've
I know
never
he loves
watched,
that stuff too. But that
I've
was more
never
about
watched
you.
Game of Thrones, but I know there are dragons and blonde people.
I'm
Like
like,
some
wow.
things just permeate the cultural awareness.
So, could you tell me what an orc is?
Isn't it
No.
an evil bad guy with like a pig face?
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, they're the little creatures that are like the little kind of
Dude, my husband
gremlin
would be
looking things.
so proud because those are his favorite books.
I don't. How are we friends?
April,
We've got to watch them. Yes.
April, can you tell
Yes.
me what Ramona Singer's favorite color is?
No.
Do you
And
know who Ramona
also-
Singer is?
And
She wears
also,
Ramona blue.
What
Thank
is
you.
Adam Sandler's occupation in 50 First Dates? Do you know that? What does Drew Barrymore build with the waffles? See, because I know all of that.
Okay.
Counts.
Are we just saying random things that we all know to try to make it
about
seem like
movies?
Lord of the Rings
talking
is
about Real
so much
Housewives,
bigger
always.
than 50 First Dates?
Oh my God. I'm getting this tiny peek into how insufferable you must have been as a conservative.
Oh my gosh.
Because if you can muster that much passion for Lord of the Rings, can you imagine April's political zeal at like 17 years old?
I did have some
Yeah.
political zeal.
I've seen the
Yeah.
clips of you on what was the network?
The Jim Baker show.
Yeah.
America say Jesus.
Okay, listen. Lord of the Rings says, I am amazed that you still know that.
I know.
That's the song.
April, I know so
it.
many words
Her
to
ringtone.
it.
That's her ringtone. Don't you know that?
Oh, I made you watch the whole thing when you were here, didn't I?
Yeah, we did watch the whole thing.
know.
I saw your brother
Times is what
sitting
Rachel
there.
told me 6 times you made her watch it.
I never
No.
told
Good
her
morning,
that.
Rachel. Would you like to watch the song again? Okay.
I'm the one that requested to watch it. I think it's amazing.
I made a
That was
joke.
Stockholm syndrome.
I made a joke with after I turned it on and it's like the Jim Baker show and Jim Baker's just talking like, here's April. I was like, Rachel, I've been pretending to be your friend this whole time
So
to bring you
sweetie.
to this moment to reconvert you back into conservative
Yeah.
evangelicalism.
It was all this whole
was a
thing, her
big ploy.
TikTok,
It was a
her
charade.
podcast,
All the TikToks,
everything.
yeah. It was just to save you, Rachel.
It was
and
so
here
I would
thought you made
say,
her watch the song, and
America
then you
say
sat her
Jesus.
down and you were like, and now you have to watch all of my TikToks consecutively starting now.
Oh gosh.
would be a
no,
lot.
I wouldn't even do that.
It'd be
That's
funny
too
though.
much.
Sometimes I thought about that. Like, should I go back and watch my old TikToks? Would I absolutely die? Would I just delete them?
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll get a comment on like a TikTok from like 2 years ago. And then I'm like, ew, that's weird. And then I just delete the video because I'm like, I don't want to be reminded of that.
For something that I
No
did
thanks.
for this here today, I had to be looking at some aggressive tweets of Rachel's, and one of them was you tweeting your own TikTok video where you are duetting yourself, but like from a much earlier video. And even that tweet is pretty old now. I recognized the you doing the duet, but the you doing that initial video, I was like, who is that person? That looks nothing like Rachel.
Was I younger
wild.
and a little
I don't know,
more
man.
rested?
I don't. Yeah, you
Not
might
so
have been
jaded.
more. Yeah.
Not so jaded. Had 2020 happened to me yet? Had everyone in my life
Oh,
died
that's
yet?
fair.
It's like-
2020 did a number on all of us.
Literally aged about 40 years in the last 3 years. It's fine. What was I talking about? Or is this part of like a game or something? I can't.
You won't know. You won't know from this. The tweet was. I mean, do you really want me to say it?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, you were basically the original TikTok was you responding to a comment that someone had called you fat, and then the duet was you duetting the video and responding to a new comment and basically being like, are you gonna use some imagination? Like, do you just want to
So
plagiarize the same thing that's been said to me forever? Or
it's funny because that video, the one you're talking about, was my very first video that ever got any traction on TikTok. Like, I was just a consumer. I was barely on TikTok. I was just watching some little things, and I was only commenting on like political stuff. No faith, no nothing. And so I was like commenting about something political, and this guy said something about me drinking a Slim Fast or something. And I made this video response to him, and I went to bed. I had like 44 followers or something, just my friends. And I woke up and I had like 3,000 followers. And I was like, what happened overnight? Like, I don't understand. And it had like 100 or something thousand views on it just because I told some guy that I was fucking fabulous. Like, that's all I said then.
I love it.
That was my very first.
I don't think I've seen that one. I go back.
I sound like a child.
Dude, you want to know what it is? I think that over time, I've actually been thinking about this a lot. Pardon me. We all have this weird thing about our own voices. Like, we don't love to hear them.
I'm sorry, we're all coughing and I got distracted.
I tried to mute my mic earlier and then I panicked because of what you said before the show. And I was like holding it back. Like, oh God, oh no.
If people are listening to this, they're very confused but muted. We all just coughed at the same time.
Let's also be honest. I think the people who are watching currently in real time are also confused. Let's not. My point is that original video of yours, you still had that like earnestness in your voice of like, this is TikTok. It is kind of cool. Yeah. None of us have that anymore. We're like,
now I'm like, what's up, motherfuckers?
Like, all right, let's do this again.
Let's do this shit. Okay, so speaking of that.
Yes.
Everyone that's here, right? Whether you're listening to this later or you're here with us now, I think part of why you follow each of us is because we take no shit, right? In our own ways. April likes to just like make things lighthearted and funny, whatever. Abby's somewhere in the middle, and I just like, I want people to suffer, which is not probably a quality of mine. It's kind of true. And especially us together, right? And so one of our probably our greatest strengths is just that we can cause a little trouble online. Good trouble, I think, right? But we cause a little trouble online.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about tonight.
Make Theo Rose cry.
We're just living in our petty a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about some of our favorite foes online. I feel like April and I have had a couple like distinct ones. Abby, I feel like you've had a couple distinct ones, but I also think maybe because you don't go for the jugular as hard as I do. Like, you just have, I feel like, more interactions with more people.
Yeah, the thing is, I will give you, assuming that I'm interacting with you because you responded to something of mine, I will give you 2 videos tops.
Yeah.
And if I am interacting with you because I initiated, that's really all you're going to get. I do my thing. And then when they are so fucking terrible at responding with even like a modicum of intelligence or common sense, I go, yeah, you know what the Bible says about pearls and swine, don't you? I'm going to go. That's my favorite one to use. I go, you know what? Biblically speaking, I just need to be aware that I'm not going to throw my pearls before swine. This is beneath me. You have a blessed day. They fucking hate that one. Oh, God,
I love
they
it.
hate it.
That's also where we differ, though, because nothing is beneath me.
Oh, yeah. I take them down and then I'm like, this was accomplished. Rachel is the end of the horror movie where like the bad guy comes back and Rachel does the backflip and shoots them in the head 6 times. Like, nobody comes back on my
and then he's laying there dead and she just gets an axe and chops him up.
Yeah, just
for her.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
that man
April
has scrubbed his existence from the internet, and Rachel is still making 12 more videos being like, I found other things that you said.
At least we all know our roles, right?
Yeah.
in that horror movie, April would be the one that would get killed
She would
first because she's
die
too
so
fucking nice.
soon.
She's too nice. You'd be like, we'll give him another chance.
No. I'm clever. I have disguises.
You do have a lot of disguises.
That's true. That's true.
You have a lot of
But
wigs.
also, the first time someone like betrays you and then is like, "No, I'm so sorry. That was a real dick move of me, and like I'm just insecure and I feel hurt by other things and I'm allowing," you'd be like, "Yeah, no, I get that. That's fine." And then they would murder you.
I'm a quick forgiver. I guess.
That's okay. We would murder them for you.
Here's the thing, though. You guys would be with me, and you'd be like, "Nah, April, move."
That's
Like,
not in
don't fall
horror
for
movie
it.
rules, though. Everybody ends up
Yeah.
sequestered in some way. The thing is, I wouldn't make it to. I would not be the final girl. I would also die, but that's because I am reckless. And you know what I mean? Like I'd get one
You
good
would take
shot
someone
in,
down
and then
with
I'd
you.
feel
Yeah.
like I had accomplished something, and I'd get an overinflated sense of my ability in this area, and then I would for sure die.
Yeah.
This is a weird.
This is a. I don't know how we.
This
I'm not
show
mad
to
about
me-
it,
Who's
honestly.
going to survive a horror movie?
This
For the
show
record,
to-
though, I'm a little tougher than.
You are tough. You are
Yeah.
getting
I'm sneakily tough.
tougher
But
for sure.
But we're talking tropes. Like this isn't like an actual depiction of you. We know you're tough. This is just tropes. Rachel is not going to spin kick around and shoot somebody in the head multiple times.
Not going to
These
do
are
that.
These are just tropes. We know you're tough. The thing that's tough about you, I think, though, is you have such a bigger platform than I do, and so this happens to me. So I know it happens to you. People just try to bait you, and I am a sucker, and I will every time.
Yeah,
And I
same.
feel like you are very good at not. And I truly mean this. That is tough as nails because every time I do it, I'm like, God damn it. This was a waste of my time. This was not satisfying. That person's a moron. Like I'm just angrier than I was before.
Yeah.
That's fair. Early on, I replied to more people, and then it was just too much. And they're so
I mean, you
stupid.
definitely do, like, because I see what people like tweet at you and in your comments on TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, I want to hurt them for you, and you just don't react or respond to them, and I'm like, oh, she's got thicker skin than me.
My favorite thing to do now, because I think probably the most common tweet that I get is like pronouns in bio with a little
That's what they
clown
always
emoji.
say.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, pronouns in bio. Like, can't listen to anything she says. And
It's
then
so weird
like,
how they think they're so clever.
right. And it's like they're not addressing anything that I'm saying. They're just like pronouns in bio. But so my favorite thing to do though is then to go to their bio, and like a majority of the time they have at least one pronoun in their bio, whether it's an I or a you or a me or a my. And then I screenshot it and circle it. And I'm like, you got pronouns in your bio too, bitch.
Do you say
I love
bitch?
it.
I don't say bitch. I say bitch in my head.
She says this is how she's sitting there tweeting, and she's like, "You've got pronouns in your bio too, bitch."
I know. I
bitch
say
part-
it as, it's a send button. I say it on impact. Yeah.
Then she's
April,
like-
did you find some of your favorite tweets today?
I did. Would you like me to read them?
I'd like to hear some of April's
Yes.
favorite tweets directed at her.
Directed at me. Okay.
So that
Well-
those people who maybe don't follow April can
Sure.
can see what she
Sure.
deals with
Well,
over there.
the worst is when I get quote tweeted by. Hold on, I got a cough.
Every time you just hear like a random silence, everyone listening to this, one of us is coughing.
Yes, I'm back. Okay. The worst is when I get quote tweeted by like a really big, like hundreds of thousands of followers, conservatives, and then they just come nonstop.
Like, what's her name? What's her name?
Yeah, Allie Beth Stuckey.
Allie Beth. Yeah.
She had literally blocked
mhm.
me like preemptively. I had not interacted with her before. I was blocked by her for months, and I discovered it because someone had quote tweeted her, and I was like, "Who's that? I don't know who it is." She unblocked me to quote tweet me and send all her little minions my way. Okay, here's one. Ready? This person's name is Autumn Time Uncle. He quote tweeted one where I am calling out Christian nationalism, and he says, pronouns in bio. Satan has this one, boys. Would you save her?
Ew.
I know.
Would you say, like, what does he mean by that?
I don't know. I
Like,
have
if
no
you were
idea.
Jesus, would you save her?
I'm guessing, like, should we try? Like, should we even try? Is she worth saving? Which I'm pretty sure
Ew.
scripturally you should try to save me if you really believe that, but you know.
That makes me so mad. That
Oh,
gets
that's
me.
just one.
Okay, keep going.
Here's one. This one's a little more comical. This lady had this is a woman, I think. Actually, no, it may not be. There's a woman and a man in the picture. It's probably a dude. And they had tweeted at me several times, like just super awful stuff. And I was actually trying to converse. And then I was like, nah, I'm done. You're being hateful. And then this person goes, it's not hate. It's just sadness that you have turned your back on the real Jesus and have embraced a Marxist faux Jesus and encouraging others to follow the same wide road that leads to destruction. What on earth is a Marxist faux Jesus?
Can we make that t-shirt too?
Marxist faux Jesus. I'm a follower.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Follow Jesus. Follower. That was
April,
bad.
honey.
Here's one. This is one where I said bold of Christians to be mad about student debt forgiveness while professing a faith that is literally based on forgiving debts.
Yeah.
This person says, bish. She didn't say bitch. She said, bish. Bold of you to be bad-mouthing Christians when you've got your hand deep down in their pockets. Try a little more struggle. Sounds like your spoiled ass needs some tough love.
Your hand is down deep in Christian's pockets?
Apparently. I'd love to know where this money is.
You're getting their money or are you giving them a hand job? Like, I don't understand what this.
I don't know. Here's
Oh my gosh, there's more coughing.
I'm like coughing on that one. Okay, here's another one. Ready? This is a woman. Her name is Misty. Her actual Twitter name is Misty Ultra Basket of MAGA. That gives you any context clues. This is also the one about student debt forgiveness that she was quote tweeting me. Oh, look, another lunatic. That's in all caps. Done lost what little mind they had to begin with. What in the actual hell? Also all caps. And then parentheses, she put, she'll be visiting. Is this? What in the actual hell she'll be visiting is this?
What? They get off on the thought of people burning in hell.
Yeah,
which is so fucked
throw
up.
that in there.
Why do when conservative Christians are tweeting, why do they capitalize so randomly?
It's
like what
she
is that?
Capitalized many. She also capitalized little and this. Yeah, I don't know. It's like this is where I'm yelling. Just so you know.
It never makes sense. It would be like if I was genuinely mad at you and I was like, April, stop muting your microphone. It like makes, you know what I'm saying? You read it and I try to read it with that emphasis. Like, okay, you took the trouble. You want me to know which parts you're really mad at. Why is the word about capitalized?
I don't know. Here's one. This guy, I don't know who he is, but he has a blue check mark.
Ooh.
Nick Searcy? I don't know. He has insurrection in all caps. I can't read the rest of it because I screenshotted it. Also, the debt forgiveness one. That one made them very mad. I think that's my most viral tweet that I've had. But he said, this is Marxist theology masquerading as Christianity. April is spreading heresy and has no understanding of Christianity, which makes her susceptible to Marxism.
They're obsessed. They're obsessed.
Very obsessed with Marxism. Anytime someone says something about Marxism, I'm like, can you explain Marxism to me? And they never reply.
Can they? I bet they cannot.
They cannot. They don't know what it is. Little buzzword. This one is not a tweet, but on my license plate video at the very end, I ended it with saying, like, does this weird anybody else out? And I just thought this comment was funny because I feel like he just put in like every single buzzword that he could think of. He's like, no, it doesn't weird me out. I'm not a left woke, gay, trans, liberal communist.
They just put all the words together.
Can you imagine if that really was how you identified and that was how you had to introduce yourself?
What if I replied was like, well, actually,
interesting that you mentioned that.
Sorry. I want to reply to that comment and be like, you left out sheep. Like, just like give them a couple more buzzwords to throw in there next time. Like, this wasn't really effective.
And they probably comment that and literally are like, "We got her. I got her."
Yeah, they're
Her
like,
feelings are
"Job
gonna be
well
so
done."
hurt. Feelings are gonna be so hurt.
So hurt. Gosh, I nailed her.
She can't even respond. She doesn't even have anything to say back to this.
I've had little sized Twitter beefs, very small, but I've had several like TikTok beefs. If you're new here, you will not know this name, but if you have been around for longer than 2 seconds, you are probably familiar with my friend Brandon Durham.
Oh, Brandon.
And if you don't know, I don't know if you guys know this, if you watched this video when I posted this back then, but Brandon wrote a blog about me. And I just want
I
to read
read that today.
Wait, was it a new blog or is this the one he wrote a while ago?
It's the one he wrote a while ago, but in
Okay.
case people that watch this don't know that he wrote, this man literally wrote, the blog is super, super long, right?
So long. He also writes 20 pages about grass.
This man like used a thesaurus for sure. Like,
dude, it's like the letter that Joey writes for Monica and Chandler to become adoptive parents, where he just thesaurus random words, and you're like, who proofread this?
I just want to read this one paragraph. So basically, this man, real quick, if you don't know, he is a pastor in a town called Freeport, and they have tried to get rid of him in Freeport before I came along.
The whores of Freeport.
Yeah, and when they my stuff got traction, videos about him, I got emails from people in his town. I got emails from people in the town he used to live in. I got an email from someone in another country that he lived in one time. So the man definitely, makes an impression everywhere he goes. But so he's talking about the women in Freeport when he starts this, not us. He says, when the mean girls of Freeport go slumming, they go all the way. This time, they rented an 18-passenger van, drove down to the Big Easy, parked on Bourbon Street, found the skankiest bar in town, went straight to the back, gave a password to a big hairy man, and followed him down a dark, long corridor strewn with the bodies of passed out crack addicts before finally reaching a rusty door underneath a dimly flickering neon sign that read TikTok. As they opened the door, sulfuric smoke billowed out and a dark, shadowy figure summoned them to gather round. Meet Rachel.
That is the best
you sound
opening.
like you're out, like if Ursula smoked and was like, blew smoke rings around people that lured them in.
He wrote that like he was writing fan fiction, like erotic fan fiction. He totally had a boner while he was writing that.
Did you ever see the movie Sin City?
Yes.
He wrote that the way that Sin City is written.
Why is the bouncer why did he have to be a big hairy man?
I don't know. And why are there crack addicts? Like, I don't understand.
Sentinel, it is Justice. It is a comic book story. It is a straight up comic book story. And you know that he wrote that and was like, I am such a good writer.
I would frame that and put that in my room.
Well, it's like 2 sentences later is where he called me the phrase that is on my bio everywhere, and I'm the proudest of this phrase, where he called me a veritable geyser of vulgarity, which it's honestly the nicest thing anyone's ever said. And so I actually need to make a shirt that says this. He does call me, like, he says she's boasts over and over again that her spiritual gift is pettiness, and she's not wrong. Duh. That's why I said it's my spiritual gift.
Thank you for the glowing endorsement.
Right.
On all fronts.
You're clearly proud of that.
Your satisfaction is noted. I lived up to my promise. One more satisfied customer.
Later on, he says, to Rachel's credit, she did help me prove my point by living up to her reputation of being extraordinarily petty and skanky.
This man's obsession with calling you a skank was so you and your skank lens.
Yeah, that was how it all started.
Again today too, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this man?"
I know, but at this point, I have to be really honest because I'm pretty self-aware. I think we have an obsession
with each other,
with one another. Like I definitely like watch all of Brandon's stuff so that I can continue to make fun of him. So I do.
Yeah, I finally got blocked by him because he was one of the ones that quote tweeted my, I don't remember which one it was. It was probably I think it was probably the debt forgiveness one. He quote tweeted it a couple times, and more recently, I don't remember, quote tweeted me again. I was like, "Hey, aren't you that guy that's cool with child marriage?" And then I linked him to your TikTok, and then I got blocked.
He blocked ya.
Yes.
I just genuinely like, do you guys know the trope, the internet trope, women written by men, where people
Yes.
post genuine books that have like been published and seen the light of day? That's what he writes like.
He does.
She boobed down the stairs tittily. Like if he,
boobed.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that is how he wrote that whole thing. It was
He did. It's
She
I mean, it took
boobed
hours
down the
to do
stairs tittily.
Also, speaking of both of those, is in one of those videos that he's talking about, I say something about my boobs because this guy's like, you should never show your breast even to feed your child, whatever. And that's what I was responding
Oh, that's
to.
Brian Suave.
Right. That's his best friend, right? Or one of his friends. I'm like, in this video, I'm being sassy, right? And I'm like, first of all, autonomy, so I can show him if I want. Second of all, I have great tits. That's what I said, like just whatever. So he writes that, he goes, she said she had great expletive breasts. And I'm like, that's not, he quoted it. That's not what I said, Brandon Durham. I said tits. I said tits. He wouldn't say that though.
No, but he'd say skank 87 times.
Yeah.
I know, right? But he can't say tits. Anyway.
He can't admit that he's thinking of someone else's tits.
Oh, no.
Got it right. Breasts.
He's the worst. And if you want more updates on him, I made a video about him literally like a week ago because I still make content about Brandon Durham. I do. Who have you gotten into beef with, Abby?
Oh, lots of folks.
Me.
Yeah, I'm not great. See, this is the thing. I'm too ADHD for beef. I'm like, who am I arguing with? Wait, what happened?
Okay, so wait a minute. I remember we were friends, but we weren't like as close now when there was somebody being mean to you because I was in his comment section. I remember thinking like, I wonder if she's going to be like, who is this Rachel girl and why is she all in this comment section on my behalf?
No, I think we were mutuals, but I don't think we were like friends. So the two people that were the most like memorable for me is that I was one of the first people to realize Mark Driscoll was on TikTok. And so I made a video, and one of the last things I said was, I hope Gen Z finds you, and I hope they're mean. And it was one of the things that I am most proud of. And people all in that comment section were like, that is a terrifying threat. You have just cursed him. And when I said it, it really wasn't, it was like flippant. And then I was like, honestly, yeah, because they can be so mean, and I would be terrified. And he got so much interaction from people. It was so fun because I've never done this. This was the only time I ever have done this in my entire time on TikTok. I said, if you follow me, please go over to his comment section and just give him the warmest welcome imaginable.
I love
it.
I
just spent the next 24 hours in his comment section, liking comments from people that had come off of my video. And it was delightful. And then he blocked me, and I sad. So that was my favorite. But the other one is a guy named Dax. I don't even remember what we argued about. He was wrong and loud on the internet, and I corrected him. And what I remember was whatever he said was so dumb that I literally began the video by being like, ah, and then I threw my phone. And so he stitched it or duetted it or something. And the comment section, it was Easter Sunday, and it was wild. The comment section filled with Christian men and he had like less than 5,000 followers at the time. And I was probably at the 50K mark at that point. And he just left that comment section a dumpster fire. None of it hurt my feelings. Like, I don't give a shit that 53-year-old Chad from Newark, who just got done with church and is waiting for his wife to get the deviled eggs out of the fridge for Easter Sunday, has shit to say about how I look. I'm good. Don't you have a John Deere tattoo? Like, no, thank you.
Every time I think of a Chad now, I like to imagine that it's short for Nebuchadnezzar. Chad is clearly right in the middle.
I'm with
Mhm.
you. But it was wild. Rachel was in that comment section just because the thing was, I was right. And it was one of those things where I had so very because he was so dumb. And so I had so
So
very
dumb.
clearly been like, you're wrong. So it played out, whatever. Fast forward to probably a year later, and a video of his is making the rounds on deconstruction TikTok where he is talking about how deconstructors and evangelicals are not great, but he does agree with them on one thing, and that's that pastors have too much power. And he did this whole thing about like people need to have accountability for their mistakes. And as I enter the pastorhood, that's going to be something that I pursue because I really believe it. And I stitched that part of his video and I was like, hey, you probably don't remember me, but I fucking remember you. Let's have a conversation about accountability. And
Mhm.
he was like, that comment section just got so hateful. It was just bad for my mental health. And like, I just had never had a video get that big before. And I was like, how do you think it made me feel? It was bad for your mental health. You fucking said it.
Yeah.
And then he also blocked me.
I actually remember when I was in that comment section talking to him, trying to defend you and whatever. Um, he was talking about how he is like training to be, going to ministry under all of these great men who are super qualified and blah 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 blah. And in the conversation, because he said something like, maybe you just don't know that about the Bible. Then of course I'm like, I literally do at the same degrees as those men. And then he made a video at me talking about how my degree was just a piece of paper and a waste of $80,000. And I'm like, but it wasn't a waste of $80,000 when that guy that you think is right got the same one.
Right. Well,
It's just a
the
waste for me.
audacity to like tell you that your degree is a waste of paper when he is literally doing the exact same work, just minus
Mhm.
any sort of formal education setting. So
Yeah.
he's just fucking reading systematic theology like, yes, I understand this.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't need anyone to teach me. Jesus and Wayne Grudem. That's it.
I am not, and I know I've said this before, like, I'm not someone that's like, you have to go to seminary to know everything, whatever. But if you're going to appeal to the authority of a man that went to seminary and that has this degree, then you can't be like, here's just a piece of paper. No, it's literally, you can't do
You better be fucking Goodwill Hunting if you're gonna come. You know what I'm saying?
Literally
Like,
just say that about their marriage. It's just a piece of paper.
that. Daxalicious or something was his
oh
name. Wow.
god, he was awful. And,
Daxalicious,
you
was
know,
that
I
really his
try to
name?
make a really strong point of it not to go in on their looks, not because I love Drew, but more because I'm fat, and so it feels like opening that door, I will end up getting the worst of it because bystanders just scrolling through TikTok will be like, "Well, a straight white man making fun of a fat woman, I'm in." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I try not to open that door. It was fucking hard for him because that man had a mullet and he looked like he had just crawled out of his parents' basement. That was the only time that I had several drafts where I just was viscerally mean about how that person looked, and I didn't post any of them.
Do you guys remember when Chris Valentin lied about me on the internet?
I remember that. That was
Remember
good
that?
times
Man,
we
hates
had by
you. Chris
all.
Valentin hates me. Yeah, it was a good time. If I could just get Sean Voight to hate, to block me, that'd be great. I try to all the time.
Why won't
He
that
doesn't take
motherfucker block me?
He won't block
I
me
don't know.
either.
I've been trying. I've
I'm
been
not that
trying.
mean though. I usually just like do emojis, like eye roll.
But from what
What?
I understand, his trigger finger is pretty slippery. So,
Really?
yeah, I know people that get blocked. Like, I feel like every time I see a tweet from Sean Foyt, it's actually because someone is tweeting a screenshot of it that they got blocked for responding to.
Yeah.
It's true. Maybe he just doesn't because I don't get all the
It's
notifications on
because
my
we're
quote
women.
tweets.
Mhm.
So, and I don't usually just reply straight to his comments. Maybe that's why. Sometimes I
April,
do.
what if in a year from now you talk to people on the internet the way I do?
What if? Do you think I could? I don't know if I
I
can.
think that would be amazing.
I don't. I'm not for it.
Why?
Because I consider what April does to be like satirists are mean in a different way. Like you guys are both
Yeah.
I think April is, I don't know if mean is the correct word, but like confrontational. That's what satire is, right? It's
Mhm.
making face to face with the reality that they're denying. And April does that with every freaking video. And so I think that is mean because there's nothing those people hate more than being confronted with the truth that they're denying. Like, have you ever talked logic with somebody like that? They fucking melt. It's ridiculous. And that's why April's comment sections are always a dumpster fire because people are like, the truth I was ignoring. How dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah,
All
and
right, fine.
sometimes I will say, sometimes I think it makes them more mad that I keep it like not lighter, but just more like because I feel like
Unbothered.
right, because because if I were to get with some of them, if I were to get in the weeds with them, which I love what you do, Rachel. I'm not condemning that, but I
Oh,
think
that's okay. I'm not insulted. I'm in the weeds and I'm proud of
yes,
it.
no,
So
and
I'm
I
not.
love that you're in the
Everybody's
weeds.
playing to their
Yeah.
strength.
Some
Yeah.
people need to be in the weeds. But for me, I have done it a couple times and it just kind of backfired. And it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, well, you're not being very Christ-like. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, I mean, like, whatever. They say I'm not being Christ-like anyway. But I don't know. It's just, and it's also just, it's just more fun to just make
Whereas
fun of
trying
them.
to make Rachel do a skit over doing like a hit piece because Rachel can do the skits. It's not like you can't do them, but given
Yeah.
the choice, you would do the hit piece
Every
because you
time.
relish it. Like you take so
You're
much
really
in.
good at it.
Have you sometimes I think the thing that people don't understand about doing any kind of hit piece like that is that you better go in prepared. Like you have to have everything absolutely meticulous if you're going to do
Yeah.
it. Otherwise, the pushback is too fucking brutal. And
Yeah.
the pushback's brutal anyway, but if you have everything meticulous, there's just something like an armor about that. So the amount of research, Rachel knows your dad's social security number.
I know
She
everything.
knows what property you are defaulting on. She has the number for the library you still owe $23 to from when you were 12. Like, my God, if you have a track in this world, Rachel has not only found it, she has tagged, categorized, and color coded it.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time that a friend of mine asked me to find out if his ex-girlfriend was pregnant?
What? No.
Apparently she was a little crazy. And so she comes in and says that she's pregnant and they've been broken up for a while. We were pretty young. So he tells his parents and they're like freaking out because he's young and he's not even with this girl, whatever. But something doesn't feel right. They're like, we think she's lying because we're trying to like sit down with both parents, whatever. And so I'm like, he said, I wish I could just find out. I'm like, well, do you want me to find out if she's like, sure. And Maggie, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, I'm telling on you. Man, we drove past her parents' house. We looked in the car to see if there's any car seats because she would have been like, whatever it was, she would have been like about to have the baby at this point and never showed up to like have any conversation with them. They were trying to make like things legal, like whatever. I found out so much about this girl and her family. And I was like 24 at the time. I've had this skill for a really long time. By the way, she was not pregnant. She made it up.
Good sleuthing.
I'll find out anything.
Can
Which
I
is why
pay
I
you
love
to
having you
find
as a
something out
friend.
for me?
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I can't talk about it on this podcast.
Why we're live right now. You don't tell everybody live right here on this podcast.
No.
You know how I'm talking about finding a new career? Maybe that's my new career.
I
You could be
mean,
a PI.
I think that would be so cool.
You could do it.
I could do it.
What would your detective agency name be? Just out of sheer curiosity.
Ooh.
Petty Mayonnaise and Co.
Petty mayonnaise.
I think you might have to fight with Disney on that one, but
Well, she said
it's
petty
Nickelodeon
mayonnaise,
and they're
not
Patty
patty.
mayonnaise.
Disney bought it out.
Disney owns Nickelodeon?
No, Disney bought out Doug. When Doug stopped being made, Disney bought it and made like 2 more
Disney Doug
seasons of
wasn't
it.
as good as Nickelodeon Doug.
It was awful, but I'm just that Disney does own it, which means you'd have to fight with Disney.
Wasn't I just doing the
I could
doo-doo
say it's
before the
satirical,
show?
right? You were doing the song
That's
before
so
the
weird
show.
that Doug came up. dude.
Okay.
It's been the weirdest show
It's
ever.
been the weirdest show ever. I'm so sorry, everybody. April, can you tell us briefly about your current beef, because it's going to lead us into
Yes.
something else.
This is a beef that no one that would follow me necessarily knows about because I haven't said a word to this person. But there is a guy who I believe has been banned now. He was on like
From his
his
like 9th account, right?
yeah, he has made multiple accounts. The most recent one was Bible Dude 1 was his name. And he's made in the last 2 or 3 months probably like 5 or 6 stitches of my videos, like random videos, and just says like off of like the caption will be like April's not very bright. And then he just rambles. That was one of the captions.
That was one of
And
the captions.
That
so
man
rude.
called you stupid so
Yep.
many times that I wanted like
oh yeah.
I
made a video talking about like how purity culture messed me up. And he was like, well, the purity culture is not even biblical. So how stupid you have to be to believe something that's not even in the Bible. I'm like, dude, it was a whole culture. There's like,
I was 8. I was
I
8 years
know.
old. So
I was that child.
sorry about that.
Anyway, so I never replied to him. I made one in the drafts, but I never posted it. And Rachel and Abby did though.
Yeah, we
because
did.
he made
She's
like 2
shooting
more.
fish in a barrel.
He would tag me in them, so I'd get the notification. I'm like, oh, this guy again.
But to be clear, let's be really clear about the context. His account, his bio line was like, I mostly go after bad theology. And he had a couple other videos, but he was primarily stitching April. Like
Yes.
she was the only recurring guest star in any of his videos. It was fucking weird.
And sometimes he would post them and then delete them.
Because
Like-
they were so dumb. April, they were so
dumb.
dumb.
Yeah.
They were
The one
dumb.
that he did where he was like, imagine you're at your work and there's a TV and it's broadcasting everything you think. And then I was like, you need help, dude. Like, you need help. That's not, I didn't even say anything. I did a shots video where I take shots to bad theology. I did chug the bottle at the end of that one. That man was a fucking idiot. So then he's like, he makes another video that he then deleted within minutes, but somebody had saved it, where he's like, okay, I have a better example because you guys didn't like the TV one. Ignore the TV. Forget about the TV. You're not at your job. You have a TV that's attached to your head.
What the fuck?
Broadcast. And I was like, that's why this man is continuously going for April. He's too dumb to know that he is insignificant to her.
He also, which I know, like my name is, that one girl, Rachel. It says girl, that whatever. But he calls April a girl every time, and it feels
does.
different. Like me having mine right there, whatever. He goes, so this girl, blah blah blah, and I'm like,
This girl April.
she's an adult.
Yeah.
She's a
full
grown ass
woman.
woman.
No women
Yeah.
are adults.
Also, he just has a really punchable face. I'm just gonna say that he has a super punchable face.
Oh god, he does. I do wish his account was still up though, because I just had a thought.
He'll make a new one.
Primarily the videos he stitched of yours were that. What was the one of you in the black dress?
The red dress, right?
The red dress?
No, she was in like a black dress doing like a.
That was purity culture.
That was also purity.
Both,
They
and
were,
then he
they're all
stitched the
purity
one
culture
that
ones.
was also purity culture about telling
Yes,
me as a kid to cover myself for men.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get there, and I wanted to be sure I was right. He was only stitching your shit about purity culture stuff. That's fucking weird, you gross.
I have a theory about that now that you're bringing that to my attention, because in my research, right, the man is almost 40, not 40 yet, and he's getting married in November for the first time. So has this man saved himself for marriage and he is fucking repressed over there? And so he's just angry about everybody else who's found some like sexual, like, freedom, whatever. Probably. That's probably why he's talking about it only with you, because you found this like freedom from all of that. And he's been beholden to it for 40 goddamn years.
And because a consistent piece, see, you're being way more generous than I am. I think that, okay, well, we're deep in the weeds now, but the thing about purity culture,
we're giving this guy a total like counseling session if we were to ever
we
watch
should
it.
send him. We should send him this podcast.
I'll send it to his fiance.
Yes.
Her
Okay,
name's
listen though.
Katya.
The thing about purity culture when it comes to sexual identity is that you stall out sexually wherever you were when you first had these ideals put on you. And I mean from like a maturity standpoint. And so you have 40-year-old men who have never whatever in their entire lives, but not just that, they have such a repressed mindset about it that in his mind he's still 14.
Yeah.
His sexual identity still rests at 14. So he sees April, who's a beautiful girl, talking about sex at an age range for her that are memories, right? Like you're talking about memories from when you were a preteen and teenager. And I think that he's like some sort of, you know, that deep part of your brain that reacts to things before you understand what you're reacting to. And I think that's why he deletes the videos, because I think they are weird and gross. And
Yeah,
I think
agreed.
that he recognizes that after a moment. Could you imagine being engaged to that and being like, why the fuck do you keep making videos to this girl about weird sex stuff? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Well, and he usually like just completely goes to some point that is very irrelevant to what I'm talking about. He's like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah? Oh yeah? Well, how do you have any morals? You godless heathen?
You were a child.
Pansexual fairy?"
Come from teachings of purity culture. You clearly are an atheist pansexual fairy person with no morals.
Which leads us to this. So I was going to have this graphic ready tonight and I don't because my day went to actual hell. Which again is why I'm going to say for the ninth time, I don't have any makeup on. I'm feeling really insecure about it, which is why I keep bringing it up because I'm a hot mess tonight.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. But from this man's obsession with our friend April, the last video that he made at her said, pansexual. He called her a pansexual fairy person, or assumed that that was what
No,
she
he
thought
said
was.
that she doesn't have to be a Christian anymore because these people just want to be pansexual atheist fairy persons.
And we
Yes.
decided that pansexual fairy person was the greatest term we have ever heard. That is what we decided. So he mocked, transgender people in that too. And so we don't like that. We don't like when people come after marginalized people that we are and that we love, right? We're not here for that. And so we decided to take, I think this was April's idea, actually. Again, she ignores him on the app though. So it's on my
I think it was
video.
Abby's idea to do the t-shirt.
You said transform though, right? Sorry, I misheard. Sorry, my
No,
bad.
I
thought she
said
did.
we should make the t-shirt and donate the proceeds to Transform Cincy.
Yeah, it was all Abby.
Okay, I'm so sorry. It's Abby. Love you. So we are making a shirt that says pansexual fairy person. And by the way, there are people in my comment section asking for variations of that, like that they want. And I'm like, how many t-shirts am I gonna have to make? And then all the profit from that is gonna go to an organization here called Transform Cincy that I think I've talked about on this podcast before, but if I haven't, really briefly, my best friend Nancy that died in 2020, right before she died, she started this organization, and it provides clothes and accessories and shoes and haircuts and resources and all of these things for trans youth. And it's pretty freaking incredible. It is by appointment. They come in and it's private. They've got this thing so that an aesthetic is picked out for them. They can take whatever they want. Sometimes that's like just a bag full. Sometimes it's more than that, with no questions asked. Sometimes they come in with their family. They have supportive family. And oftentimes they come in without their families because they don't have supportive family who will not purchase clothes that better reflect their gender identity. And so we love Transform. I would have loved this if I heard about it from anybody at any point in my life. The fact that it was my Nancy's is really, really special to me. And so her whole thing before she died was the quote from Hamilton that a legacy is planting seeds in a garden that you never get to see grow. And that was what Transform was. And so we want to benefit Transform at every turn. And why not benefit it from a man who's a motherfucker on the internet talking about pansexual trans fairy people? Fuck that guy. We're going to make a donation and help change trans youth lives for him. That's what we're going to do. So
for you, Bible dude one.
Andrew, I'm not going to say your last name on here, even though I know it. I probably could say it, but I'm not going to do it.
Don't
anyway, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
All right, fine. So we're gonna have that shirt up on the platforms tomorrow and for sale, and I'll post it on my TikTok and everything. So everybody can go buy something and just help out Transform. And if that shirt does not appeal to you, or you're listening to this later on and maybe we don't have it in store anymore, who knows when you listen to this, you can go to www.transformcincy.org and make a donation at any time. And some people the other day in my comment section were like, don't want the shirt, but would love to donate them. What's the website? And so I'm like sobbing on my phone. All this stuff in here. Her daughter runs it now that she's gone. And sometimes for my birthday 2 years ago on TikTok, I had people donate to Transform that day too. And I was just imagining like Ella randomly getting all these weird donations from like all over the country or the world in one day and being like, what the hell is this? And so I'd love to see that happen again. So that's what we're taking all of the bullshit, and not just with this guy and not just with this instance, but I think one thing is like, wow, we go after people, we make petty whatever, or we joke about it, but we do that not always just to like be ugly, but to like mean it for good. So like when we like Abby makes this video at Bible Dude, whatever the other day, and much more gracious than I did. But all the things that you said, it'd be like if somebody didn't know and somebody heard his video and watched it and believed that for a second and then saw you and be like, actually, you know what? I can get out from under the thumb of this evangelicalist bullshit. And so we do mean good for what we do. And we're all, when we go after these people, it's to help other people and ourselves heal from all of this trauma. So we just mean it for when sometimes I want to make them suffer. I did say that earlier, so I do have to admit that.
Well, it's for those of us that are healing from trauma and those of us who are still being traumatized by people that hopefully they can see they don't have to be anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's end this on a game. Abby has a game. It got a little serious.
This is quite the awkward transition.
Well, now it's awkward.
No, it was always going to be awkward. I'm about to WWE introduce random CEO bros.
That's okay.
There was never going to be a way to transition from that,
which is totally fine. We got the important stuff out of the way, and now we get to end on a laugh, a chuckle with our friends.
All right. Please prepare your drinking apparatus. All right. I'm going to introduce in the style of the WWE wrestling thing.
Confederation.
Is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called.
World Wrestling Entertainment.
What it used to Federation, right?
I don't know.
What was it?
But
I'm going to announce in the style of wrestling the descriptors of various nemesises.
And we get to guess who it is.
Nemesises.
And Rachel and April have to figure out who it is. So I'm going to end each description and introduction with like an elongated and you guys have to come in on the name. And if you can't, you have to take a drink.
Okay, here we go.
Ready? This is horribly embarrassing for me. Just want to get that out of the way.
I'm glad.
I really want to start it with, let's get ready to rumble. Now entering the ring with a 5th grade reading level, a penchant for trite imagery in his blogs, and Christian nationalism's answer to the Florida man. It's... I didn't elongate my it's.
Brandon Durham.
I found out he was from Florida. I was like, oh, yes, that tracks. Rachel, you're only supposed to drink if you don't get it.
Well, I drink because I wanted to.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Apparently, I skipped my first one. A new challenger in the scene, a man with amber waves of hair, a mediocre music talent, and all the audacity possibly afforded a cis straight white man that's duped Trump's America into believing he's providing them with a spiritual awakening. Here's
Sean Foyt.
I'll drink again.
You guys are pretty good at this game.
Hate that guy.
Dude, he's the worst.
He's awful.
The worst.
I am definitely going to tweet him about his amber waves of hair, though.
You should. And then the next heretics, because we're running long, we can talk about how you got mad at me today for calling him Bret Michaels because you love Bret Michaels. But we'll talk about that later.
Right. I ran out of ideas on how to introduce people like a WWE star, so bear with me. Do you hear that sound? That's the sound of a lightly educated musician for the new Christendom, a sexualizer of the postpartum, the skank king himself. It's
Brian Suave?
Brian Suave.
I don't know if that's how you say his last name.
I missed that
I
one.
hope it is.
Christendom.
Because
Yeah.
I like to think of the song Rico Suave. So every time I see his name, I go, Brian Suave. And I imagine that it makes him feel uncomfortable. And that's
Hate that guy too.
the current reigning champion and undefeated king of Christian nationalism, a man so holy he has angel wing sweat, measuring significantly shorter than you think he is because he definitely wears lifts while he stomps across that stage on Sunday. It's
Greg Locke. I have a lot of fun comments from his followers who found one of my videos about Greg.
all right. Ready?
Yes.
Last but certainly not least.
Ooh. You all right over there? She's coughing again.
Last but certainly not least, we have the manliest, angriest, most masculine, most easily sent into a blind rage, machoist, most testosterone filled specimen of manhood who is completely manly and not at all overcompensating for any shortcomings he may be living with as a very short man with obscenely tiny hands. It's Mark Driscoll.
Oh, I was between Mark Driscoll and Donald Trump.
I was like,
No.
Donald Trump in his hands?
No, Mark Driscoll's hands are tiny.
I didn't realize he had small hands.
Oh, he is tiny.
That tracks.
He's a tiny man.
He's a tiny person. Yeah.
How tall?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but if you ever see pictures of, so it's super rare that he is in pictures with other dudes.
I didn't know this.
And when he is in pictures with his wife, she's seated a lot of the time. And
Yeah.
there's one or two pictures where it looks like she's taller than him.
Man, Google does not have his height. It's like he scrubbed it.
Scrubbed it.
I think he did.
I was trying to think earlier of what the thing was because I wasn't sure if you were going to use him or not. The Tyler guy. What was the thing he said that we would always make fun of? Do either of you remember? I know he would say like, "No man wants his woman," but then he like mispronounced some word. I don't even know. This is stupid because you guys don't remember.
Talking about Tyler.
Yeah.
What
remember
what he said.
I was trying to remember it in case she used Tyler, so I would remember.
He was like, "No man wants his woman showing off her body for the world to see."
And then we found his Instagram.
Yeah, and then he like tried to back out of it by being like, "Oh, I didn't define modesty. I didn't tell you what I thought modesty was." Like, okay, so bikinis.
This is the funniest thing about being friends with Rachel is that we were in a group chat. We were talking about this. And I said, I just went on his Instagram and this is what I found. And I sent the screenshots and Rachel said, are you going to make a video about this? Are you going to make a video?
Right away.
I said, no. And she went, okay, I'll be right back.
Ladies, I'll be right back.
Okay. It is weird how I can't find Mark Driscoll's height anywhere. He's like scrubbed this. Oh, wait, here's one.
Sure.
Way down at the bottom of the page. He is a man. This is on factsbuddy.com.
Seems pretty legit.
He is a man of average stature. Mark stands at a height of 5'7".
No, lies. Absolutely not.
That's what FactsBuddy says. That's the only. Everywhere else it says height unavailable. He's gone through the effort to take his height off. Oh, eliteprospects.com has him as 5'9".
Nope. No. Hard pass. All right, ladies, you want to close this up? Our most random episode we ever had, but hopefully it was enjoyable. Did we lose Abby?
No, I now I need to find a representation of how tiny he is.
I will, if we can find his height, I'll put it in the show notes, everybody, so that you can also know.
I am
how tall
I'm about
he
to drive to Arizona. I think that's where his church is, and
Yep.
just go stand beside him for a picture. Just
Yeah,
so
because
I
you're
can
pretty
hype.
tall.
Yeah.
You two would both be taller than him. I would
We
still
would
be shorter than
tower,
him. So
tower over him.
still be. All right. So next month when we see these beautiful people, we will
Halloween.
be dressed up for Halloween.
Oh, it'll be on Halloween too, because it'll be Monday.
We can do that one back on Sunday if we need to.
We'll talk about
it. It's always gonna be on a Sunday. It can be on Sunday. I don't care. We'll talk about it, but we'll be dressed up. It'll be a fun episode again. If you have never listened to last year's Halloween episode, you should, especially because of a little thing called kerplunking. That's from that episode.
Classic April.
And make sure you look out tomorrow or whenever you get a chance and help us raise some money for Transform Cincy. All of you that are always in our comment section supporting us when we take on these monsters, we appreciate you. And April, pretty sure you know this, but you can keep being the nice one. Abby and I got your back.
I know. That's what I count on. I'm like,
all right, everybody.
You're my secret weapon.
Yeah, they don't even know about us yet, and then they come after you, and we're like, hold on.
Yeah.
Un momento.
Let me introduce you to my friends, my literal friends. Here they are.
Oh, Nicole said it's her first Halloween as a non-Christian. It's going to be the best one ever. Nicole, we're so excited for you.
Congratulations.
So love seeing you step into all of your, yes, love it. Love it. We love this. We're so happy you were here. Okay, love all you guys, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.